Well, there's only three in franchise history who played for the Grand Rapids Griffins and became a head coach. Todd Nelson, Ben Simon, the others. Danton Cole is the third. Now the head coach at Michigan State University, his alma mater. And I remember back in the day, DC, when you were here, would that be the dream job, going back to where you played for 4 years and where your dad taught? You told me, yeah, that would be pretty good. Well, tell us how good it is now as you enter your fourth season as the head coach of the Spartans.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun, and this is a place that, and I guess you don't decide that until you coach for a little bit and you get a feel for, hey, what the business is. I know, working with Guy Sharon, I went right from being a player one day to coaching the next day, and you're a player, you come in the rink about 9 a.m, and by noon you're out going to have lunch with the guys and going home. And I think I was in at 8 and out at 8, and I was like, I don't know about this coach, and this is kind of for the bird. So I don't know right away. But, once you're in it a little bit and you kind of get a feel, and I really liked pro hockey, and I love coaching with the national team. And, but at the end of the day, I was hoping this would come open and I get a shot at it, and I did and got it. So, yeah, Deb and I are real happy being here. We're close to family, and, I love Michigan State and everything about it. This is definitely part of our lives, and, getting a chance to try and getting it back to where it is has been a great challenge. And, no, we've loved it. It's been an awesome stop for us.
And speaking of awesome, just great for you to take the time to visit with us. So good to see you again and miss you here, no doubt. We got lots to talk about. One of them, though, I certainly want to pass along condolences. Just lost your dad here recently. Obviously he was a major influence on you. I don't think there's any doubt that Danton Cole was going to Michigan State University to play his college hockey and to get a good education simply because your dad taught there for one.
Yeah, no, it's, he was around for lots of stuff with me. And, at the end of your life, it's kind of cool. I mean, he was my best friend, and, I talked to him, every night for years and years, and probably, he had a little bit of heart problem about 3 years ago. He didn't pass away from that, but, really since then had been, every day talking to him, and hockey's a big part of his life and my life, and is real involved with my kids. So yeah, it's a hard thing to go through. And, but you know what, the thing that's been, I don't want to say refreshing, that's probably the wrong word, but, we were saying earlier, everybody kind of, you go through it at some point. And I've had just a lot of great friends who lost their moms and their dads, and just had some real great conversations, and, try and keep things in perspective. And, my dad's faith was good. My faith is good. And I know where he's at. And, so you move on, and he missed his 80th birthday by 2 days. So that bummed him out. He wanted to see another game in Munn, so he didn't get quite to that either. And, but hopefully someday we'll be lifting a national championship trophy, and he'll be a big part of that.
Yeah, I can imagine you'll be looking to the heavens at that stage, Danton. And it seems like you might be tracking in that direction. Obviously your dad would love to see another game in Munn, but, with all the excitement going on with the program, this, again, your fourth year, you've increased win percentage, improved win percentage in each of your first three. The team the attendance numbers are going up. Obviously, they're going to go up even more with the expansion of the building and the renovations, and just lots of good things going on with hockey in East Lansing right now. You seem to have that program back on the map again.
Yeah, when we took over, and Michigan State had real good, from a little before I was here till a long time after I left here. We were kind of a guaranteed NCAA playoff team, and in contention every year, and that had kind of fallen away. So coming back was a bit of a challenge, but what, we, like you said, our goal was, hey, to get a little better every year. We've been able to do that. I think we'll do that again this year, and we had to really, I think we had to rebrand ourselves, but we had to kind of get back in the mix. And I was, first came back and we're talking to kids from the state of Michigan, and normally I'm thinking that's, we should be able to walk right into the living room and say, hey, this is Michigan State, and if we offer you, you're coming. And what we found out quickly, that's not where we were at. But I think we are back to that stage to where we're in battles with the best teams in the country for recruits. So that's where we wanted to be. And yeah, attendance, when we got here, it was about 4,500 a game, and 6,100 is a sellout. We averaged just under 6,000, so 5,900 and change last year. So, that was, again, another big goal, kind of getting there, and then getting back to relevance hockey-wise. And, we were an overtime goal away from being tied for first at the end of the year. So, we're close. We're not there yet, but hey, that's we always tell the players it's the long run, it's the battle, and that's where we're in right now. We love our freshman class this year, and I think we surprised a lot of people last year. I think we'll do that again this year.
Well, if you're a head coach in the pro hockey ranks, I'm not even touching this topic, but the fact is you're at Michigan State University, and academics is somewhat important. Dan, I know it was for you, obviously, as a player when you were there. You were all CCHA academically for 3 years. The grade point average continues to go up. In fact, I think this past year you had a cumulative 3.26, something like that, which is second or third best in Spartan hockey history. That's pretty impressive.
You know what? Our guys do a really nice job, and we've graduated 100% of our guys since we've been here, and I think NCAA gives you ratings, and we got our first 100 rating over a 4-year period. So yeah, we're real happy with that. The support guys get now, and I don't know what it was like when you were in college, Bob, but we got our classes, and if you had to get a tutor, you had to kind of search it out or find someone that could help you. The Smith Center, Steve Smith donated a ton of money, and it's unbelievable. So, I mean, these guys they're taking care of nutrition and tutors and education, and we've got a woman that takes care of our guys in terms of watching over them. So, boy, if you don't graduate coming through here, it's harder to not graduate. I always tell you. It is to graduate. So it's a great setup for them. Again, they're taken care of real well. It's a lot different than when I was here, and but that's a huge part. And everybody wants to make money playing hockey, and I hope all our guys get a shot at that. But the reality of it is, most of them are going to be, they're going to be teachers and doctors and lawyers, and they're going to go into a different field. And what they leave here educationally and as young men, that's really our charge, and we've got to balance that. And I think most of the time for parents and coaches, the education might be a little more important than the players at times. But they get older, they kind of get that message, and it's fun. It's a great period of life that when we get to hang around these guys. They're real. There's still some changes we can make, and I think they're not completely formed as young men yet.
Well, even for the likes of Taro Hirose, who's going to probably spend the next several years playing professional hockey, you coached him. He's going to need that education somewhere down the road. Talk a little bit about him, Dan. Talk about the Krieger boys. You got Cole and Christian playing there. I mean, we'll have to ask you about Todd. Is he the typical hockey dad, or yelling and screaming from the stands? I'm guessing probably not, but got some good ones coming through there.
Yeah, no, Taro was he was a lot of fun, and I'd put him up in that class of just elite hockey minds, and he's got some things obviously to be a full-time NHL that he's working on, and he's close, and he's close because of how good his hands are, but boy, his head is outstanding. I've had some really good guys, Clayton Keller, and Clayton was as smart as they come, or Austin Matthews, guys that just really, really feel, Seth Jones, that went through the program. And I put Taro maybe not in that class of hockey player. I think he's an NHL guy, but just in terms of thinking and making plays and being that cerebral type player. So he was a blast, and worked real hard. He is a guy that has a couple classes he still needs to finish up. So when you see him, tell him that he's still got to take care of that. But we'll get him through. So yeah, no, he was great, and he was ready to go. He got the right offer, the right team. Academically, he was outstanding. I know he's going to graduate. So, those are easy conversations, and, wishing him well. And yeah, the Kriegers, it's been fun having them. And I've known Todd and I were maybe a year apart, but, through pro hockey, we played on some U.S. teams together. So I've known Todd a long time, and he's actually a great hockey parent. We touch base every once in a while, but we don't talk about the boys much. Usually it's just how things are going and catching up, and pro hockey and college hockey. So it's usually that. But you know what, he really leaves it to us to coach them and to kind of go through it. And they need to be young men. So no, he's been really good to deal with, and his kids they're good hockey players. They're going to have a chance, I think, to play in the NHL. They're big, they're aggressive, they've got skills, and they're young. I mean, they're juniors, and they're just turning 20. And so, they're going to get out of here with degrees and I think have a chance to play in the NHL.
No, it's great news. Obviously, the NHL is where you played some games. Of course, TC 300 plus, Winnipeg Jets, Tampa Bay Lightning 20-goal season. All in all, pretty darn good career. Finished it up here in Grand Rapids from a playing standpoint. But when you reflect back, I mean, was it what you expected it to be? Any shortcomings? I mean, because you really got off to a pretty darn good start. You look back to your first American League season, 31 goals, and then right to the NHL. For the next 3, 4, 5 years, win a Stanley Cup with the New Jersey Devils. Satisfied with your career as well? You probably ought to be.
Yeah, it's and I don't, Coach Mason. And I don't know if this was a compliment or not. He'd always say, he goes, you played a lot longer than I thought you would. So I always tried to take that as a compliment. But no, you know what? I got to do everything that I always dreamed of. And you know what? That was, play college hockey here at Michigan State. I mean, we moved here when I was in 4th grade, and we had season tickets. I always wanted to play here. Man, I got to do that. That alone is pretty darn good. Then I wanted to play pro hockey, and I did that, and then I got in the NHL, and like you said, I was able to be around some good teams and some great experiences and win a Stanley Cup, and and then going to Grand Rapids. Actually, I'll tell you what is as satisfying a period of our lives. I mean, all 3 of our girls, when we moved there, my oldest were 2 and 3, and Peyton was born there, and I mean, we were there 10 years, and our best friends are our neighbors from there. Some of my best friends are guys that played hockey with there and coach with, like you mentioned, Nelly, and Bruce Ramsey's still coaching, and boy, guys like Travis Richards. How can you forget you can't
Johnny
forget
McSween,
who I knew from here. So I mean, that's a huge part of our life, and that's really the one anchor that our family has, and going back. So when I look at the totality of it, I go, man, am I been blessed? And I wouldn't, you look back and you sometimes you can play that game, but man, I hate to say I'd change anything, because everything kind of led to where we're at as a family and what we have now. And like I said, in terms of friends and everything. So no, it was a great ride. Lots of people didn't think I'd play pro, and you know what, that's all right. Like I said, I'd have been happy just leaving here and moving on, but I was able to stretch it out for a while and doing the same thing here, Coach. And I don't know. There's times when they say, do you miss playing? And I don't know. I miss the guys. I miss the locker room atmosphere, and even being on the bus or traveling. And, there's that camaraderie that, it's kind of a foxhole thing. I don't think you ever get that back. You get a little bit of it with coaching, though, and with the other coaches. And, we meet every day. And I got Chris Luongo, who I played here at Michigan State with, and, is a great friend. And Joe Exter is a great friend I've known for like 10 years now and worked on and off with. So, we come to the office every day, and we're just playing. I mean, it's not work. We're just playing and enjoying it. And, life's been really good. I've been tremendously blessed. And, I don't think I'd change anything. And it's everything I could have asked for. I scored a lot of Stanley Cup championship goals in my basement growing up. I didn't get to do that, but I was close.
You got to hoist that cup. That's pretty darn impressive. That's for sure. Hey, you got to, you look back too on your memories here. I think you scored one of the biggest goals in franchise history in overtime, a double overtime game. In fact, I think it was the first ever playoff overtime goal in franchise history. Had some great teams as a coach here. And we just talked to Stacey Russo the other day about that 02-03 team, and just that close to you. One win away, knock out Houston. I think you take out Hamilton and win, which would have that time been the first Calder Cup championship. So lots of great memories, needless to say here, not to mention the girls being born here.
Yeah, no, it was, like I said, that was such a, you have different foundations in your life, and for us, that period of our lives was unbelievable. And like I said, I only had really the 3 years playing, and you build some great friendships and the guys in that line, especially that first team. I mean, that was a real interesting group of guys, and we still see guys out there. We still have Michelle Picard scouts, and you talk to Matt Ruckty and Eddie Patterson. Now I've got a kid playing for me now that's good friends with Eddie Patterson's kids, and he works in the mill for Eddie out in Western Canada in the summer. So there's all those ties. But that first couple of groups I thought was real special, and we kind of again talk about foundations and build kind of what the Griffins were, and then coaching. boy, like I said, you mentioned a couple of those teams, and Stacy Roost, and I was texting with him after they won the Stanley Cup and congratulating him. And, he's just like he was as a player. He's a dog on a bone, and he worked, some guys don't work hard when they get those jobs, but Stacy, he works probably just as hard as he does a player. But man, you look at that team, and what a good hockey team, and the guys that were there and where they went on to play afterwards. And you're right, we were down 3-1 in that series and got it back to 3-3. And I think there was 3 or 4 2-1 games. I mean, those were 2 good hockey teams, Houston and Grand Rapids. Mm-hmm. And, you come that close, and boy, it's hard to take. But I think when you move on later on and you look at it, it's those people that you're around, and it's those moments. And hockey's just the setting. Hockey gets you to that place. But all those people, and man, I keep coming back to it. But it's been quite a ride, and I've got a lot of good friends and a lot of great memories out of it.
Let's talk about sports other than hockey for just a second. You hang out with Tom Izzo at all in East Lansing?
Yeah, Coach is great. He's, I think, and I don't know, I'm pretty sure on other campuses it's probably not quite the same, but he's a big supporter of hockey. And back when he was a grad assistant and couldn't go on the road, he used to spend a lot of time at Munn actually and hang out. And his wife Lupe is a big hockey fan. She's always bugging him to get the season tickets right away. So yeah, we have a lot of interaction, and the coaches here do a lot of things together. But in terms of helping the other programs, he's unbelievable. I mean, he really is. He's the face of the university, and he's a tremendous man. He's real generous. He and his family donated a ton of money to our renovation, so he's real active in that. He helps us with other donors. So yeah, no, he's around, but he's a busy man. If you get your time with him, you want to make sure you take advantage of it. So, but no, he's outstanding. Like I said, as a leader and a mentor. And then, Coach D being here, retired last year. But those 2 guys is the head of the athletic department. Really, what a great place to start here, and just be around them and learn from them. And Coach Tucker's a great guy now, and I'm sure he'll fill that void of Coach D. But no, Tom Izzo's he's one of a kind, and what a great Spartan.
I'm guessing you and probably the people watching right now never imagined we'd be talking some baseball when we sit down with Danton Cole, but Waverly High School. And I tell you, John Smoltz has become, in my estimation, the best analyst in baseball. He is just such a joy to listen to. And Joe Bach, obviously a tremendous play-by-play. Those 2 guys together, though, in the World Series and playoffs, anytime they work together, pretty impressive. Do you stay in touch with Smoltz at all, a former teammate at Waverly High School?
Yeah, a little bit. And, John and I started, when we moved back, we started playing baseball together in 4th grade, and really all the way through. He was at Catholic Central for 9th and 10th grade, and then came over back to Waverly. So, but in the summers we were always together, and, we'd play men's league. We were 15, we were playing men's league. We'd go over and throw games for teams, and, just in our families hung out a lot. So yeah, it was neat growing up with him, and you knew he was going to be good. Like he had the talent, and then he grew. He went from 5'9" to 6'3" in 1 year, and all of a sudden, he was throwing 8 different pitches when he was in 8th grade. All of a sudden, he's throwing in the 90s with all those pitches. And but I think the one great thing about him, and that's the same with all the really, really great players I've been around, is they have that slave to master. If he was 99% good at it, he was going to keep grinding until he was 100% at it. And he was going to get it. And it was, whether it was golf or basketball or baseball. I mean, when he put his mind to it, he was going to be good at it. And he's an incredible athlete, obviously, but I think you see the same thing in the booth. I don't think he probably just didn't walk upstairs and start doing games. As he probably spent some time and got better. And I guarantee he was probably taking classes and working at it. And I love listening to him. I think he's great. Interesting the other day when they took that picture out right away, I wonder if it's John the starter or John the closer, what he's going to think about this. He didn't like it. I was probably with him on that one, but we text every once in a while. Something good happens, we'll zip a sec to each other, and probably talk once a year or so, and try and keep up. But we're both kind of running, and but it's fun. It's fun to keep track of them.
By the way, his baseball cards on average are not that much more in demand than your hockey cards.
Yeah, well, I find that hard to believe. If I was in the futures market, I'd be buying up John Smoltz cards. Not now.
Well, there was one I saw that was worth about $500. I think it was his rookie card. And there's a couple of them on there for, I mean, your 20-goal season to Tampa Bay, that card, if I'm not mistaken, is up around $30-35, man.
Well, I got a bunch of those. Anybody wants to get all, I'll give it Bob Kaiser. I'll send some cards over. We'll set you up.
This is great, man. We could go on all day, and just a joy. I remember so vividly the great conversations back in the day. I'm still 40 years into this. For me, a kid in a candy store. I never take for granted the opportunity to get to meet people like yourself, and there's a lot of pride involved in calling Danton Cole and others friends, and we very much appreciate this. Say hi to Deb and Madeline, Peyton, Ashton, the girls. I know they're all over North America right now. In fact, one of them's at school here in Grand Valley, I believe, right?
Yes, yeah. Peyton's she's in her senior year. Yeah, just finishing up.
The others are all over the place.
Yeah. We got Atlanta and Dallas, and they got used to moving, I guess. So they're all over.
Yeah, Dan, we wish you all the best. It looks like the season's going to start here in a couple of weeks. College hockey and Big Ten is ready to roll, right?
Yeah, November, the weekend or the week of November 20th. We might bump it up a little, just a couple days for some TV stuff. But yeah, we'll be going soon, and we're looking forward to it. It's COVID's changed everything, and it really affected every aspect of everybody's lives. And getting back playing will be nice. I'm looking forward to getting behind the bench and having a game rolling.
Well, we'll be watching. Good luck.
All right. Thanks a lot, Bob.
Dan, thanks a ton. Great to see you.